So far we have created these variables, the functions keyDown handler and the function keyUp handler. So right now we're going to be dealing with the mouse, and this is the code again. We are trying to build this specific example here. As you can see, we have the spaceship that it can move in the forward, it can move backwards, and the y x coordinates. Okay, so this is the game that we try to create further on, but first we're gonna be dealing with this small demo, and let's give it a try. Let's play it out. So I'm gonna be shooting, pressing the key X. Okay, so let's play it first. Okay, so see, I can move with the keyboards up and down. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna try to lose. I'm gonna try to win this, and then we're gonna go back to the code with the functionality called the mouse. Okay, so let me see. Okay, give me some points, and I'm just pressing my key letter X in my laptop. So okay, so I want to take this helicopter down. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. And I'm just moving, so this game is pretty cool. I just keep my finger on the letter X, and then I just move up and down, up and down. I need to go just a little bit down so I can destroy this helicopter. And let's see if we can win this. See if we can send us to the next level. See, and there was a hack. Okay, if you press C, when you press C, it's gonna pretty much give you like more points. Not more points, but more oops. It's gonna if you're losing your life, it's gonna give you more, like a second boost, maybe something like that. Let me see. I wanna destroy this helicopter, so I need to destroy it now. Okay, I took some damage there, trying to take that helicopter down. Let me see if I can. No. Okay. So I got 375 for that's pretty good. Okay, so let's go back to the code. So right now we are in the mouse, and okay, so if you go into the GitHub repository, so this is the website. You have here this is the small demo, and this is the GitHub. This is where all the files are gonna be. Okay, so we are here in the HTML file, so we are gonna have the document that event listener. So we're gonna have the document, so it's document that add event listener. So we're using that document that event listener, and we're gonna be listening for the mouse move. Okay, mouse move. Make sure you type right, not mouse mover, but just mouse move. And we're gonna have the mouse move handler. So mouse move handler, like that. Okay, semicolon at the end, and below that we are gonna have the function. So this function is gonna be named mouse move handler. So it's gonna be named mouse. Okay, mouse move handler. We're gonna pass in the the object handler. Okay, so we're gonna open curly braces, and we are gonna have in the player. We're gonna have the player X, and we are gonna set it to the object handler that page X, like that, and it's gonna be minus. It's gonna be player X. Let me see. Document that add event listener mouse handler. Then we're gonna have the mouse move handler. Let me see, player X. We're gonna have the that page X minus the canvas that offset. So offset height. Let me see, canvas that offset left, like that. Okay, and this is gonna be minus the player width, so it's gonna be the player width divided by 2, like this, semicolon at the end. And we're gonna have something similar for player y, so let's go down, and we're gonna have player y, we're gonna have the event handler, the object handler, so we're gonna have e.page y minus the canvas.offset tab this time, like this, and it's gonna be minus the player height. Okay, so minus the player height divided by 2. Okay, so we have that divided by 2. And what else do we have here? So now we also gonna have the output at inner HTML, so we're gonna change the HTML. We're gonna have the output, let me see, output that inner. Okay, so output that inner HTML, and we are gonna set it to something. So output that inner HTML, and we are gonna set it to the mouse. We're gonna set it to the mouse, colon, and now we're gonna open brackets, angle brackets. We're gonna have the br space slash, and we're gonna concatenate it. So we are gonna have after the double quotes, we're gonna have the plus sign. We're gonna open double quotes again, space, we're gonna have x colon, and let me see. Okay, after that, after the second double quotes, we're gonna have the plus sign, and then we're gonna have in the player x, this one, we're gonna have in the player x plus, and then we're gonna open double quotes, we're gonna have a comma space, then we're gonna have the y colon and space, we're gonna concatenate it again, and this time is gonna be just the player y, so plus the player y semicolon at the end. Okay, so we have that so far, and let me see, this is our I'm gonna close this one. I'm gonna go to the each HTML file, right click, open with live server. So this is our project. As you can see right now, if I move it, so I can move, edit text the position of the cursor. So right now I am in the X position 15 and Y 203. If I go up, the Y is pretty much decrementing, and if I go, I don't know, towards my left is going to the negative. If I go towards my right, it goes in the positive, so in the X coordinate. So we have that so far. So let's keep moving. Let's go again to the main.js. So this is what we have in the function move, is mouse move handler. So let's close this one. Okay, this is the completed code. Okay, let's close it, and okay, that's fine. Now we're gonna have in the touch. Okay, so let me see, document that. Okay, so we have the document. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna move here, and just gonna be touch like this. Okay, so let me see, in the touch we are gonna have again our document that add event listener. So we're gonna have the document that add event listener, and we're gonna open parentheses, and we are gonna listen this time for the touch. Okay, so for the touch start, touch, let me see if I can okay, so yeah, okay, touch start, and the second parameter is going to be touch handler. So it's going to be the touch handler. So semicolon at the end. And okay, so let's copy and paste it again. So let's copy this one, paste it below, and this time is gonna be the document.add event listener, and we're gonna have instead of touch start, we're gonna have the touch move. So, and this one is not camel notation, so here we're gonna have the touch. Okay, so let me see, we're gonna have the touch handler as well. Okay, that's fine. And now we're gonna have in the function touch handler. So below that we're gonna have yeah, we're gonna right here function, and we're gonna name it touch handler. We're gonna pass in the object handler. We're gonna open curly braces, and let me see, touch handler, we're passing the object handler, and we're gonna have an if statement with some conditions on it. So if the object handler that touches if this is true, then we're gonna do something. That something is we're gonna have in the player X. So we're gonna have in the player X, and we are gonna set it. Okay, so we're gonna set it to the object handler that touches. We're gonna open brackets, and we're gonna use the array 0. Okay, and we're gonna chain it to the page X, like that, and it's gonna be minus the canvas that offset left. Okay, and then minus the player width divided by 2 semicolon at the end. And we can copy this one, and we're gonna do something similar below. Okay, so we're gonna go here, and we're gonna have the player Y, so uppercase letter Y, and we're gonna set it to the E that touches. Okay, the 0 index. That page, it has to be Y here. Let me see, page Y touches page Y minus the canvas of tab. Okay, offset instead of left is gonna be tab. This time it's gonna be camel notation, and this one has to be the player height. Let me see, this is right. Okay, so we have the page Y minus canvas that offset tab minus the player height divided by 2. Okay, that's fine. And finally we're gonna have our output at inner HTML. So below, yeah, we can pretty much copy this one since we already wrote it. It's gonna be something similar here. We're gonna have our output at inner HTML, and we're gonna set it to, okay, double quotes instead of mouse is gonna be touch, like that. And again, we're gonna have colon br, then we're gonna concatenate it to X, and then we're gonna have the player X plus, okay, we're gonna have Y, and then we're gonna have the player Y. And let me see, okay, this ends up in the player Y, but we're gonna add more code. Okay, and the only thing that we need to add, but pretty much to the next line, is because this is the end of this piece of code, the output at inner HTML. Now we're gonna type in the object handler, and we are gonna use this method prevent default. So that, and it's gonna be, let me see, prevent default, like that, semicolon at the end, prevent default. Okay, so let me see, let me make sure this is written right. So yeah, that's fine. Let me see what has changed. So oops, no, I don't want to play the game. Yeah, this game is very addictive. Okay, if I move up, if I move down, okay, everything is fine. So let's continue, and now we are gonna go into the function. So now we're gonna go into the GamePad. So let's go into the GamePad. So the GamePad, and again, we're gonna do something a little similar. Well, not similar, but we are gonna have in the window, and we are gonna use the method add event listener. So we're gonna add event listener, and we're gonna listen this time for the GamePad. So it's gonna be the GamePad connected. So connected. Outside of those, the second parameter is gonna be GamePad handler. So it's gonna be GamePad handler, like this, semicolon at the end. And we're gonna have some variables here. So we're gonna have the controller. We're gonna have the controller, and we're gonna set it to an empty set of curly braces, semicolon at the end. We're gonna have the var statement declaration name buttons press. So it's gonna be buttons press, buttons press, and we're gonna set it to an empty set of brackets, so an empty array. So this one is set to an empty object, this one is set to an empty array, semicolon at the end. Below, below we are gonna have in the function, GamePad, connected, GamePad handler, so we're gonna pass the object handler, and inside of the curly braces we are gonna have in the variable that we have created, the variable controller, and we are gonna set it to the object handler that GamePad, like this, semicolon at the end. And now we're gonna have the output. We are gonna have the output at inner HTML, and we are gonna set it to the output that inner HTML, and we're gonna set it to the GamePad. So we're gonna set it to the GamePad colon. Oops. Let me see. There has to be in double quotes. Colon, and outside of the double quotes we're gonna concatenate it. So the plus sign, we're gonna have controller, so it's gonna be controller.id, semicolon at the end. And yeah, that's pretty much it so far. Let me double check GamePad handler. We have the controller, the buttons press. We're using the controller, we're setting it to the GamePad window that add event listener, GamePad connected, and we're passing the GamePad handler. Yeah, that's fine. So let's keep moving. Let me see what else we have here. So we are here, so now we're gonna have another function, and the name is GamePad update handler. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna have this function, it's gonna be GamePad, let me see, update handler, and just double check your spelling here. So GamePad, so no camel notation, update handler. We're not passing anything inside of the parentheses, but inside of the curly braces we are gonna have the buttons press, that we are gonna set it to an empty array, semicolon at the end. And below that we're gonna have the if statement, so open parentheses, open curly braces, and inside the condition, inside of the parentheses we're gonna have this condition: if the controller that buttons, if this condition is true, then we are gonna have a for loop statement. So inside of the for loop again we're gonna have some conditions, so we're gonna have this variable declaration name b, we're gonna initialize it to 0, and as long as b is less than the controller that length, I mean buttons, okay, buttons that length, length, as long as the variable b is less than the controller that buttons that length, we are gonna increment b by 1. Okay, so inside of the curly braces we are gonna have, okay, so we're gonna have an if statement inside of the for loop that is inside of the first if statement. So let's move just here. So we're gonna have this if statement, and let's see, we're gonna have the controller. So we're gonna have the controller that buttons, and this time inside of the brackets we're passing b, and it's gonna be that press. So it's gonna be that press. Okay, and inside of the curly braces we are gonna have the buttons press, and it's gonna be that push, and we're gonna pass in b semicolon at the end. Okay, so we have that so far. Oops. Okay, so we have that so far, and we are gonna have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're gonna have another function, and the name of this function is gonna be we're almost done with this code, so we're gonna have the game button press handler. Okay, so it's gonna be the function GamePad, no, this one, GamePad button handler. Let me see, GamePad button press handler. Okay, press handler like this, and we're gonna pass in, let me see, we are just gonna pass in button. Oops, button. Let me see something. I think I type button instead of button somewhere. No, that's fine. Controller game, buttons press. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine so far. Let me see. Button, and inside of the curly braces we are